a voice to call until I'm middle skin, asking if I had been going the distance. Sing a fifth of passion that I cannot deny.
Alright guys, I'm Skybound.
Starlight Flow.
And we've just got finished watching episode 19 of My Hero Academia. And yeah, so as I'm sure you're aware, when we last left off, Midoriya was just starting his battle with Shinso, I think his name
Shinso.
was. And
well, we didn't know what the hell was happening. But
Yeah.
we knew something psychological was going down, and it turns out it was to do with brainwashing, essentially.
yeah, so a brainwashing quirk, which is something that's not really been seen so far, and it's an interesting one because most of the most of the quirks we've seen so far have all been physical powers for the most part, like actual physical
Powers we could
attacks.
see, yeah.
Whereas this is a more kind of subtle one. It's
But a very powerful one.
very
if you
effective if used correctly, but because it relies basically on, it can only really work against human targets, or at least it can only really work against targets that aren't artificial.
Yeah, so in other words,
So it's useless during like the preliminary phases.
yes,
of,
so that's the reason why it didn't get through to it.
pretty much his ability is useless in the prelims, but as soon as he actually gets to face actual people, his power is actually very, very interesting. And again, another person who has like a really good, genuine motivation. He doesn't like the fact that his power makes people see him as more of like a villainous type. You know,
Yeah.
you know, you could make people do whatever you want. He wants to be a
It seems
hero.
like you have to ask him a question, though, or well, he gets you to answer a question. Doesn't
I think the whole thing is him speaking, is the person speaking, like saying something to them,
he? Yeah.
because because when Midoriya was like running at him, like about to like push him, you know, he's like, say something, like it wasn't even a question, it was just literally say something. So I think that's the kind of thing. It triggers when the other person says something. So
but what made it even more interesting is how that all for one thing that happened. It wasn't like he was. It was weird. It was more like he saw the image, and it wasn't that they could affect him by giving him power. Well, they kind of have done, but not in. They didn't give him the extra power he needed, and he couldn't affect them. But it was just a sheer thought of them that made him be able to overcome it.
yeah, exactly. So it's interesting though. I'm not too sure what.
It hasn't really gone. The consequences of that haven't really been made that clear, but you can kind of see where it's going with it. And
But yeah,
like,
it was an interesting way to kind of break out of it by basically detonating his own fingers. I mean, it definitely worked.
yeah,
Definitely broke him free.
yeah. But I think brings on to the point is he can't just keep on getting by the skin of his teeth all the while. He's gonna have to really surpass his previous attempts if he is going to be able to beat. What's the guy with the fire and ice again?
Fire and Ice. That's Todoroki.
Yeah, because there's no way he's going to be able to beat him, because just by the sheer power of his.
He does have like immense power. Maybe the whole thing with him not wanting to use his fire side is going to be the thing that kind of catches him out.
Yeah, I think that will actually do it. I think the kind of foreshadowing that with the whole, it's going to let you down at some point.
Because they also did show like in the because Todoroki even mentioned in the previous episode that he got overpowered by Midoriya. He basically forced him to use his fire power again when he was previously just using ice. So essentially, I imagine what's going to happen is that he's not going to use his fire ability, and that's somehow going to stop him
from winning.
That's my guess. I guess we'll find out.
It seems like his ice ability is just as powerful.
His ice ability is immense as well, though. Like, obviously, he has immense ice power as well as immense fire power. But in this particular case, I don't think he's going to be using his firepower as much. I think he's definitely going to try and avoid using that at all costs, just because he doesn't want to be like Endeavour.
He doesn't want to be able to win this by using his dad's.
Because I think the thing is, from what I remember, he really he's got some daddy issues. Could be.
Well, he has more than daddy issues. I mean, he was basically the product of a arranged marriage because of genetics, for crying out loud. They were trying to literally do genetic engineering on bloody humans, essentially, by having arranged marriages. I mean, that's one hell of a fucking
it's pretty much
scenario.
the same.
That's more than just daddy issues.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that people would do with dogs, essentially.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like breeding in certain things, physical traits of other species, in order to create a species that's appropriate for a different task. It's basically that, except with humans, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so fucked up.
Yeah, I still think it's very interesting how.
I just notice how low we're sitting.
Yeah.
There we go.
I do like how kind of realistic the world is there, in that. As I say,
it's like what would happen.
It's a very interesting one, because it's not this perfect utopia of the world.
No,
it's got these weaknesses. It's got these kind of shitty elements of society to them, like things like.
It's still got this. It's like if we had to still. It's like if this society had.
Yeah,
heroes, and essentially it's taking that.
It's relatable, because you can kind of see, if we had this ability, is this something we do? Well,
yes.
Probably. Let's face it, this would probably become a cultural aspect in some respect.
Yeah,
probably not widespread, mind you, but it would probably.
You could easily
be something that would happen.
Well, you only even have to look at how our culture in general, or just our culture. There's been cases where royal families have bred into each other and ended up inbreeding just because they didn't want to, for similar sort of stupid reasons.
To be honest, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's something that's obviously a big cultural thing, and how it even used to be like a big cultural thing, I believe, in Japan as well, where you had like people only sort of allowing marriage from people of the same kind of status as yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, this is probably where a lot of that has come from.
Because there's the whole sort of subplot in SAO where Asuna's mother really doesn't approve of Kirito, because Kirito's kind of the lower class kind of person, and she's higher class. So there is. I think it's a kind of similar element to that. I think that is kind of a cultural thing. Maybe not widespread. I wouldn't sort of say I know everything about Japanese culture. I'm just
despite being a weeb.
Yeah, I'm learning Japanese on Rosetta Stone, as Filthy Frank would say. But yeah, I'm not an expert on Japanese culture by any means, but it's just these things that I've seen in anime that I guess would stem from some sort of cultural background.
Yeah, I imagine that would come from some of it.
Obviously, there's going to be something there. There's something that would have spurned that, and I'm guessing it is maybe kind of a way that things are handled in Japan. So
it's probably that's the reason why it's probably a theme, because it's a sort of thing that's happened in Japan in the past.
But yeah, back on track. It was a good episode. It's nice to see another kind of couple of battles, and a battle that Midoriya came out of, admittedly in a very very unexpected way.
Yeah, by basically doing the same thing he did to Baka in the track.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
You can't just keep on doing that, because people will see it now. It's like the second time he's done it.
Well, yeah, the shoulder toss trick. I think one of the things is, though, because so many heroes are so kind of, ridiculously overpowered in terms of strength and everything, no one expects the fucking judo throw to just come in, just like... wait, what the fuck just happened? You know, they go to punch someone and then suddenly they're on the back. Because realistically, that's what's going to happen if someone tries to take some of the kind of choreographed swings that you see superheroes go. You know, if you see someone going like that towards you, you're just going to be like... realistically, because you don't choreograph punches that much. You just don't do it because it's obvious what you're gonna do, and someone can counter that. Seriously, I've not been into many fights, but even I know this much. But yeah, good episode. I liked it.
So what would you give it? Well, my thoughts on it really is like, well, yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you said there. I mean, it was interesting to me how at the end we were essentially fighting about a lot of the. Yeah, I think they were well, they kind of said.
In terms of fighting power, they were pretty much evenly matched.
Yeah, they were pretty much.
Neither of them had a physical
edge over one. Well, hang on a minute. Didn't one of the commentators? I forget the guy who's basically that DJ.
Oh god, I can't even remember his name. He's just the crazy DJ guy.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah. So basically, one of the commentators of the match were basically saying that, you know, that they were pretty much evenly, well, not evenly matched, but back in the head.
What we what we basically watched was a wrestling match.
Yeah, it was basically a wrestling match, but you know, I think one of them had slightly more physical edge over the other, and that's the one that was able to win.
Midoriya has a bit of
physical
counter attack power. Like he knows how to do a judo throw, which is apparently all you need to counter any hero.
Or especially if it's just one that's got mental.
Well, if it's for the purpose of punching, I suppose it's just one of those things where, well, the thing is, neither of them were using powers there for that last part of the fight.
No.
They were basically just punching each other and tossing each other. It was literally just a normal fight.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But it was pretty successful. I would say it wasn't as boring as Crazy DJ Guy was saying.
So what were you, yeah, but when you got a world that's full of superpowers and all
I guess, yeah.
But, yeah, so what would you give the review score-wise?
I'd probably give that a solid 8.
I would call it, yeah, I would say it was about 8. Yeah, I would say possibly 8.1. I'm saying 8.1.
Okay then. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, good episode yet again.
Consistent.
I'm waiting for the time when I go, you know what, this episode was shit, and then I just walk off. But
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's not going to happen with this series.
But,
it's been consistent.
You know, there's like 60 or something episodes at this point. It's ridiculous. We're like a third of the way through what's been aired so far, and I don't even think that's the complete manga. So you know, you've got more. You've got more of us essentially doing this. You've got more of this coming. So
yeah, a lot
this
more.
is probably going to go on for like the next year or so, to be honest.
Yeah, I can easily see that happening.
But yeah.
Well, we'll see if through until MLP comes back on. Let's play it that way.
Well, definitely, and it will continue beyond that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed our episode discussion thing. As usual, reaction live, in description, words, wrong order. Apart from that, yeah, as usual, my name is Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we'll see you next time with the next episode of Boku no Hero Academia. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.